Guys, I just made an entire video on why Santa Claus is a racist and the file corrupted. Can you believe that? Because at the very end of that video, I came to the realization Santa is working with the Jews to run the world. Santa Claus is brainwashing society by working with the Israeli government and the Jewish peoples to brainwash kids specifically, targeting kids to conform to some what's a good word? Dystopian ideas. This is a dystopian society where Santa Claus performs more like a Krampus than anything else. And notice how Krampus is a German word. This goes back to the painter. He was right. He knew Santa Claus was going to do this, and he was trying to stop it before it could happen. Well, I guess it was going on then. So he must have found out, and he was trying to save the world. However, he performed his ideas in a terrible manner because there's no world where anyone should be executed for their beliefs or how they do things, right? But so that of course what his approach was wrong. His approach wasn't a good way of doing things. But looking at it today, I want to save the world by posting this video and explaining how Santa Claus is a racist that has been exploiting elves and reindeer for personal gain and financial profit and political gain and power and just these terrible things. Santa Claus is part of the secret society, the secret 1% that runs the world. And you might think, oh, well, if he's doing this, then how do we know about him? Because he's looked at as a good guy. You hear that? He he's this guy that uses elven elf elf labor for his own gain without paying them. He works 1 day a year, 1 day, or maybe two if you want to count him checking his list the night before. But he works 1 day a year. You know that? Just so he can write it off to the IRS that that's how he gets all his money. But I think that it goes even deeper than that. I think Santa Claus cut a deal with the IRS in which they take around 34% of the profit that he makes, and that profit goes to the IRS. Well, Santa Claus can still make enough money for his own mansion and facilities in the North Pole. But you know what? Santa Claus barely even uses his facilities in the North Pole. Because when you really look at it, have you ever seen an elf? I haven't. What's always on the presents whenever you open them? Made in China, made in Vietnam, made in Laos, made in Cambodia. These East Asian, Southeast Asian countries. Santa Claus is using Asian child labor to create presents, and then he uses this influence over other societies such as European societies and American societies to maybe even South American societies. He uses this to run the world as as like a guy in the back. Have you ever seen Santa Claus? No. He's like we know what he looks like, but we've never seen him, you know? I think they're trying to kill me right now just for trying to spread this idea. Like I said, my first file corrupted. But I think Santa Claus is the secret ruler of Jews, and that the painter was really trying to stop Santa Claus before he could run the world the way he does. Now, I'm gonna go back to it again just to make sure that my ideas don't come across in a bad way. The painter, he didn't do stuff right. What he did wasn't right. You don't just You don't just murder people because they don't you don't like what they're doing. He had enough influence to go and tell people um that what Santa Claus was doing was wrong. The Jews were doing was wrong. But he didn't. Instead, he decided to try to execute all of them and create a perfect Aryan race. Blue eyes, blonde hair, 6 feet tall. Describe Santa Claus to me. Sorry, it's not coming up. Santa Claus description. A jolly, portly, white-bearded man in a red fur-trimmed suit who travels, um, what what race is Santa Claus? Santa Claus is a Caucasian man in a red suit. Does Santa have blue eyes? Pop culture and modern storybooks usually depict him with bright blue eyes to match his rosy, cheerful look. Santa Claus was part of the Aryan race. You know who wasn't? The painter. I shouldn't say I shouldn't say his name. I want this to I don't wanna. How tall was the painter? 5'9". He was 5'9" tall. He had brunette hair. He was kind of stubby. I'm pretty sure it was either he had 1 ball or 3 balls. I can't remember which one it was. I'm pretty sure it was the one though. He wasn't part of the Aryan race. The Aryan race. So what if he was also just a sleeper agent? What if there was really someone behind him who was trying to stop Santa Claus? Because what he was really promoting, he was promoting Santa Claus. He was setting Santa Claus up for success because Santa Claus has less of a population to control, which means the Jewish population are Santa Claus's elves. And Santa Claus's elves are the reason Santa Claus can control everyone. Hitler and Santa, cut that out. The painter and Santa, the painter and Santa were working together to perform racist things by using this elf labor, as we've already discussed, wasn't elves. Wasn't elves. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm the first person from what I've seen, maybe the rest have gotten taken out by like the CIA or something. I'm the first one. I'm the first one to actually be able to have this idea and share it. Uh, dude, dude, I gotta, I hear them. They're speaking to me. Wait, wait, you gotta hear that. Claus. You hear that? Santa. Wait, wait, and then come down here. Is a Santa Claus is a Santa Claus is a racist. Santa Claus is a racist. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We figured it all out. Wait, but then phones. You hear the sound when Siri comes on? Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Uh huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That what does that sound like? That H. He Santa Claus is working with the painter to exterminate the Jewish population. And that's how they control them. Because but they had conflicting ideas. So Santa Claus, depicted in Western pop culture, American pop culture, was this Aryan figure, while the painter was was exterminated because and then he fled to Argentina, you know, because he couldn't keep up with it, and like, dude, they had conflicting ideas because Santa wanted to control all of them. Santa didn't want to exterminate any of them. However, the painter had this final solution. What does that sound like? He found a way to control the world, but Santa Claus realized that's not how we do it. So while he was exterminating everyone, Santa Claus found a way to make Japan attack America, bringing them into World War II so that they could beat Nazi Germany. Santa is the reason Hitler lost in World War II. Wow. But what point do I have to say Santa is worse than the painter? Well, I suppose the main thing is that he he has fallen into the modern day capitalist ideology in which he controls society through financial gain, economic gain. Santa Claus is the reason gas prices are so high right now because what he's doing is he's stealing from these countries such as, like, you know how I said that he made that deal with the IRS earlier? Well, what he did was he took that deal and he used it back on them. So where they had to give him the oil necessary to to automate his facilities and use his machines so that he could create more presents. And what does present sound like? Presents. Presents? I gotta show you guys Microsoft Paint for this. Hold up. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So look, wait, where is it? So we have, wait, oh, there it is. Presents. And then we have, like, like the little box. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Look, we have the little box, right? And then it normally has like the green stripe and like the two green stripes, and then it maybe has like a bow or something on top. So we have our presents. But what does present sound like? So look, we take the PRES and then ENS, sense, sense, like sense. You know who like picking sense up off of the ground? The Jews. Pretend there's Abraham Lincoln in there. So presents, presents. Santa Claus was spreading his presence, his presence by by taking over the economy, such as raising gas prices, such as giving low income families low income presents, and high income families these bigger, like, presents, such as, like this is a low income family present, and then you take it and wait, take it and you make it bigger. That's like a high income family one. Cause what Santa Claus was doing was he was really just trying to take over the world. He was spreading his presence so that he could spread his presence. Oh my gosh. Are we hearing this? Are we hearing this? Are we hearing this? Oh my gosh.